Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in. Check out your boy, P Funk, thinking right out here in the lab. Where I do what I do. About to give you lesson two of what we just been doing. So let me get this thing started right quick. Right is a 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. The message in the story for life. I give life lessons. You tune in receiving. We got a good thing going. Let's rock. Right thinkers mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking is way of life, and that's what it is. Through mental and spiritual discipline, practice daily, will help and guide you to attain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers who tune in and follow my philosophical points of view do just that. The goal is to know yourself. That's it. No hidden agenda. No more, no less. Okay? So, do you know you? Yeah, I know. Okay. So, you should pick out who you are. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not, don't tune into my show. It's foolish. Disregard them. I do. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. I teach them. That's why they tell into my show. I appreciate you too. I got you. Don't worry about it. A person who knows not and believes that they know dangers, avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is asleep spiritually. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinking, know thyself. And to my app, the truth. Now, this is considered part two. I'm going to just pick up when I left off at. We were talking about that love thing. As for the feeling of love, expands a person's love, the earth and the heavens, and then the subtle essence which enlivens creation itself, God. And beyond that, again, that got man, Neberger, Neberdjer. It means absolute, all-encompassing God. With every aspect that goes to God, the Nebuchadnezzar encompasses all of them. Okay, thus they grow in what universal love, and in so doing, they are actually what growing in cosmic what consciousness, because God is universal love itself. That's why He's in the heart of all human beings. That aspect should be natural. And it is for mortal man. We all have that desire. Our heart drives us. So once you put the heart with the mind, now you got something. You got two things working together as one. That's harmony, but also called synchronicity. Okay. Where we at? Universal. Okay. Now watch this. The cosmic expression of love and devotion for all that exists. God loves and has a straight understanding for all His creation. Y'all talking about, well, God good. He won't let this happen. No, 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 no. Some things God let man take care of. He can't control nature. Why? Because look what He doing with the other stuff he left them to do. Conceptually. All right. Let me get finished with this Nephet. Nephet is what? The reflection of Aset. Immortality, she gonna be around. She ain't going nowhere. She knows her place. Mortality knows that I'm going to lose and I'll be back. So nothing dies conceptually. Understand that. Nephet is the reflection of Aset. Her name means lady of the house. Here, house implies mortal or physical human existence, meaning the body, which exists in creation, which is also time and space, whereas Aset represents subtle spirit, the subtle spiritual realm, which transcends what? Mortality. In any case, they are what? One and the same goddess's expression in two forms, the subtle as well as the gross aspects excuse me, of creation in human consciousness. The fact that they are what? Both consorts of who? Hassan. We would see a menage a trois. Back in the day, okay, I got that too. I'm just saying. Ego, yeah. When the ego get the best of you, Magic took 6, so I don't feel bad. Just take it 2. But my man said, "You live in the American dream." I'm I'm like Frankie Crocker. I can get 2 pieces. So okay, I understand it. So women, like what it's saying is, women will be infatuated if your stuff is together. If you got your stuff together, you know they love that. That's what the spirit is. That's what Asar represents. What's this? And he had it going on. What's this? Even though she was a consort, Asar points to the fact that the soul is wedded to what? The subtle, which is Aset. The original. This is the original. Y'all gonna like this, as well as what? The gross. The subtle is Aset, the spiritual realm, the higher level realm. But now he also wedded to what? The gross essence, which is nature, which is that of creation. He had it both ways. That was his side shit. And just like when y'all get caught, the outside baby, the bastard child, well, no, he ain't bastard, but they got to hide the fact that who was his father. And I hear people say, when they claim themselves teaching Egyptian stuff, they'll say that Anubis or Anpu is the offspring from Set and Nephthep. And if you really study this, you would know that. Watch this, because it tells you Set produces what? No offspring with her. Set don't reproduce nothing. The ego cannot produce. Remember, it's like the when it's hard, when it's soft, you can't do nothing with it. Set stay soft. He can't never get hard. So when men get to that age, Set takes over. Why? Because they got nothing to do. So that's the concept. So the ego, my friend, should not run the show. If you're 6 years old, you're still worrying about you need to raise your conscious level above your waist, my man. It don't last long. Get over it. Set produces no offspring. In the same way, watch this. In life, of vice, egoism, and selfishness, principles of Set produces no offspring in the form of spiritual enlightenment, abiding joy, hotep, or happiness, but only, listen to this, illusory ego consciousness lends you to frustration, unrest, and discontent. This is why when people seem to have everything going, everything, but they don't know themselves, so they go through all that and end up still taking their lives because all that stuff don't mean nothing. They none of that going with them. So if you ain't happy with who you are, be it here, having stuff really don't make much. What is to gain the world and lose your soul? That's been known forever. But conceptually, your ego dictates that. And people think it's some outside entity. No, it's you. That's why knowing thyself is so important. That's why I say know thyself. If you know everything except you lose. So being an educated fool, going to get degrees and walk around praying like you somebody, and you really ain't acting, playing the role sincerely, dedicated, you will lose. Simple as that. It ain't enough for me to preach to you and tell you about your future. I ain't no fortune teller. I ain't a soothsayer prophet. I just know what I know. Simple. I know about people like you. We all should. And that way you can't fool and trick people. If they knew themselves, they know you full of crap, excuse me. But those egoistic people, that's what I'm talking about. Don't get it personal. Let's talk about Anpu, aka Anubis. Who is he? Anpu is the offspring of spirit, Asar, soul, and pure physical mortal nature. Not that. Side chick. Anpu is the off Anpu is often related to the dog or the jackal deity. You can see he looks like a dog. Set don't know. They don't know what he aardvark. He this. He got a whole. He personally is supposed to be one of a unique thing that there's no more of it. It's only one. Your ego is represented by Set for that reason. Okay, understand that. The jackal deity has 2 aspects. Watch this. Ampu or Ampuwat or the Whippawat or Whippawat. Ampu is the embalmer. He was running hell or the underworld before Asar came down. Okay, before Asar got killed, Anpu was his son, taking care of the dead. When they come down, he saw him, make sure he's weighing the scale. That was all done. But when it was time for his dad, they tell you, doctors, you can't operate on your family member. No, he did it his own father. I'd have done my father if I had to. What about him? Okay, so that's the concept. I understand. But he represents the embalmer. Okay, the one who prepares the initiate, who is dead. They call it the shiti. SHTI. The one who is what? In the coffin, the dead body. We call them now pallbearers, the ones who carry the pallbearers, but the one who do your the embalmer, it's still called embalming. They still take care of the body. But he wrapped it up with gnats weaving material, another lesson there. But watch this. Now, as a neophyte, the initiate is considered to be what? Dead. This is why Masonic order, we do what? We kill you. It's like, if I tell you the secret, I got to kill you symbolically. And everybody missed the boat. Symbology is a way of teaching. It's a form of educating the rules who understand. So symbolically, I'm going to kill the old you. Why? To bring in a new you. Dead level, living level on a perpendicular square. I've done that many, many times. That'll make me God. I just gave a philosophy, a concept, and a ritual. That's all it is. Everybody has rituals. So whatever you do routinely is a ritual. Whatever you take special care of, that's a ritual. Prayers, meditation spots, places you said, that's sacred. Every time somebody died, they build a memorial. Okay, that's fine. It's understanding. I'm not against nobody's way of showing grief, religious concept. None. I'm not against none of that. I just want you to be understanding what you're doing. That's all. I got a concept that I use. So who am I to tell you you right or wrong? So I'm just giving lessons, teaching. Where we at, Danny? That's what I do. I teach. So you are considered the mummy. Since he or she does not have consciousness, aka realization of the transcendental reality beyond the what? The ego personality. They don't know themselves. All they know is what they're doing now. They have higher consciousness. They're not aware of their higher self. They're ignorant of who they are. So, and that's fine. This is why I do what I do to help them. And if they want that help, that's what they do. They come check me out. Now, he or she, watch this, in an ordinary mortal human being in consciousness, just at this stage, the aspirant must be what? Prepared through what? Here we go. Virtue, righteous, and physical purification to what? Receive the teachings. Why? Because without this preparation, of the highest teachings, you will fall. It will fall. The highest teaching will fall deaf on deaf. It will fall on deaf ears. If you're not ready, they say when the student ears is open, the teacher will appear. That means if you ain't ready, you ain't gonna hear the teachers. You ain't gonna understand none of that. If you ain't the first one, I think. If you don't know, you don't know. You ain't involved with what I'm doing. You can care less what I'm talking about. That's why. Now watch this. Now in this context, Ampu represents what? Vigilance, and the constant practice of what? Discrimination and watchfulness, mindfulness over what? The ego self. He's the watchdog over the ego. You can't con him, you can't trick him, you can't bribe him. He the epitome of I'm just doing my job. I teach. I'm just teaching. I ain't got nothing to do with nothing else. I'm not doing nothing. I'm staying in my lane. So when you do what you do, if that's what you do that. I ain't trying to do that. This and the other. Not. I do this. So understand that. That's the concept. Now, what Apu represents, what is the constant practice? Excuse me. Now, okay. Apu represents, yeah, excuse me, the constant practice of discrimination, watchfulness. Okay, no, I'm down next link. Apu represents the development. Here we go. Of what? Mental clarity, sanity. Insanity is doing the same thing and think that you're gonna get a different result. Mental understanding is making adjustments, changing, acquiescing to the situations as you go. Insanity is trying to fight what is, and insanity again. But sanity, which was this, which unfolds within the human heart in what? In degrees. Gradually through what? Through practice. Allen Iverson was a father practice. I'm Allen Iverson. Practice? Practice? I don't need practice. I'm Bubba Chuck. Okay? When you got a skill, it tells you God gives you a gift, but you have to cultivate it. Work on it. Kobe took his to the next level. He was conscious of his talent and his skill, and he rode it and rode it and rode it. Like TDJ said, you find what works for you and you work it. I'm doing the best I could, so I get it. Now watch this. Practice of what? of discrimination and watchfulness of what your ego self, it becomes effaced and reveals what the true self as one with a soul. You can't worship two masters. If you're doing yourself ego, that's set. When you asar, set. Good, evil. You can master it any way you want, but if you're not on your game, your ego will destroy you. That's the bottom line. That's how brother killed the brother. The ego took over. Watch this now. Anpu also implies what? Listen, dispassion. I'm not gonna let my feelings get involved in this and that. I could care less. Don't bother me at all. See, that's why he tell you. Don't mean that. Sad story means nothing. Driving means nothing. Sexual parts, nothing. So do what you gotta do while I'm doing what I gotta do. Simple as that. And watch this. Detachment from what? Worldly desires. Nothing you can give me that make me go against my principles and what I stand for and what I represent. That's the point of right thinking philosophy. I know what I'm doing. This should not be what? Misinterpreted as what? A pathetic development, but detachment from the worldly world implies what? A keen understanding that the world and all objects in it, here we go, cannot bring happiness to my soul. Why? Because they are transient and fleeting. It's temporary. Nothing temporary should be able to satisfy you or please you. If you're looking for those things, you'll keep looking. They won't ever stop. Moving on. Excuse me, one second. Yeah. Huh? On the where? Oh no, I'm not. No. No, no, I picked them up on the thing with the t-shirt. Excuse me, with underwear. Sorry about that. Did they clean? Oh, okay, no problem. Sorry, little buddy. I forgot I was moving. I forgot I had them in there. I had it with my drawers. Okay, I got it. What is it? Sorry about that. Yeah, well, because the soul, and they know that things are fleeting. And since the essence of all objects is the higher self, in detaching from objects, you are merely detaching from the reflection of the higher self and attaching to what? The real higher self behind the objects. It ain't the object itself. From the perspective of spirituality, watch this, the act of detaching from objects does not mean simply giving up objects. Rather, it means you now have a more profound way of seeing and understanding objects for what they really are. You now have a deeper insight into what the true nature of objects. It's this understanding which allows you to what? Detach from objects. You understand they are temporal creations from the source of all existence here. Your very own heart, excuse me, as in a dream, and therefore are not abiding realities. They can or should be possessed or owned, not to be lived for. Discernment, here you go. Purity of mind. Knowing right from wrong. If we all use more discernment, what'll happen? These bad bootleg preachers, these mega preachers who sucking people in because they're ignorant won't be sucked in. What? They got better sense than that. They know better. Okay, it ain't just objects. It's people, places, and things that you get better in understanding of too. Watch this. Discernment, purity of mind. What it means. The ability to what? Know right from wrong. Truth from untruth. It don't take much to know a person lying. If they say this and do that and it don't match, he's lying, she's lying. End of discussion. No matter what you think about them, no matter what their title is, a position, all that means nothing. When they go stand in judgment day, they're not gonna care about that. Your deeds is all I care about. Okay? Your intention means nothing. Hell is paid with good intentions. So don't count for much. Move on. Understanding the difference between truth and untruth. If a person lied to you, stop believing them. Simple. Simple. You can't stop them from lying, but they lie to you. You know they lying. Move on. Now, reality from unreality. Do you know what's real from unreal? Yeah, knowing what's real from unreal are what? The hallmarks of an Anpu mind, or aka a right thinker's mind. I teach discernment. I teach you how to master yourself, understand how to dispatch yourself from situations, take the emotions out, take away how you feel. All that means nothing. Useless information. And these qualities are what? Essential in what? Beginning of the spiritual journey, as well as in the more advanced practice state. If you don't have discernment, you're going to have problems. Why? You don't know who's real, who's not, who's telling the truth, who's not. So that's not good. That's why. In order to develop a mind that is capable of discovering the subtlety between what? The absolute reality of spirit and the subtlety of egoistic desires and the apparent reality of time and space, which are temporary and illusionary. An Ampuma, aka right thinker, is required. Why? You need to be able to decide what somebody is presenting to you, if it's good, bad, or indifferent. Ampu as a preparer of what? The mind. The purifier of what? The mind. Operates, okay, to allow what? Proper discernment. And what? Ding, 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 right thinking. I didn't have to put it in there. Not time I slip it in there when I do it. I didn't have to do that. Booyah. And discernment, and again, is right thinking about what? Worldly situation and the objects that come with that. If you're hooked on having, being, and doing, then you still live in the Satanian concept. Anubis won't do that. Why? He got no possessions. When the Charlatan monk, the priest, they don't carry nothing. When I was hustling back in my day, I would leave my house with no money. Why? I'm gonna make some money. I'm gonna get some money. That's old school. So you don't need whatever you bring. That's what you're gonna deal with. Okay. When Luke went into the cave, he told him, "You don't need that." In his mind, yes, he do. So you going to look for trouble? You're gonna find trouble. You go in peace. A lot of us don't do that. So they don't know the answer to that one. When you come in peace, they receive you in peace. Conceptually. I don't forgot where I was at. Okay, oh, here we go. Now, as the warrior, and I can tell you, we're spiritual warriors, right thinking mind, the capacity to what? Confront wrong thinkers. I'm a gangster. Why? I'm going to confront all you wrong thinkers. I'm going to confront all you fake believers in God. Why? That's what I do. Against you. I ain't got a problem with that. You don't like it? Change. But don't perpetrate, don't steal the name of the Lord. Don't make the Lord look bad and you perpetrating and doing things that you do. But he'll take care of you. So, but in my time, if I'm around you, I'm going to shut you down. Right thinking. I confront wrong thinking and allow what? The aspirant to succeed against incorrect ideas and bad people, thoughts and desires of those bad people. Ampu as Whipple or wet opens what? The way and leads an aspirant to the land of what? You ready? Spiritual enlightenment. That's where I dwell. The West. And Ampu of the West is the mind of the West, the place where what? Life comes to a proper end in peace and spiritual enlightenment, perfection, and understanding the nature of what? The transient, the higher self, God. This capacity, watch this, of mind to what? Discern operates in an intellectual process. Thinking is a must. Right thinking is always a plus. The process of the mind as well and is a what? Foundation for the capacity of the mind to understand concepts. Concepts. Understanding them. You ain't got to buy them, you ain't got to follow them, but at least if you understand them, then you can make a better decision based on if it's right, wrong, or indifferent. You can use your discernment. Again, it all comes in understanding concepts as well as what? As to separate understanding from egoism, the desires that skew what? The mind and cause it to make bad decisions that are partially to what? The desires and are not based solely on truth. When we want to do something against what we know is right, we formulate in our mind a reason and make an excuse to do that. Simple as human nature. Discipline and the Apu or right thinking mind will stop that process. Okay, moving on. I'm almost done. Oh yeah, I'm about to 5 minutes. I'm about to wrap it up. Cool. Now, watch this. The qualities of Apu, right thinking, assist in the spiritual movement since it's intellectual grasp of what mystical philosophy and the necessary for what to progress on the spiritual path to spiritual enlightenment. However, intellectual sophistication, sharpness, and subtlety are only a what? A means and not an end in themselves. You can practice these things to get where you want to go. Spiritual evolution necessitates a transcendental movement. There have to be a change, what? Beyond the level of ordinary human intellect. You have to raise the level of the mind and the senses. The sixth sense, think. They ain't illegal yet. Right thinking is what I institute for my followers because that's very important to get where you want to go. Let's go. Now we return to what? The other aspect of Apu. Apu, as the God of two faces, has a second aspect whose name is Wetwat, Apuwat, which means the opener of the way. Once the Apu mind is engendered, mastered, the mind that knows truth from untruth can't trick me. My grandmother told me, grandson, I got a sixth grade education, but you can't trick me. Meaning, I know life. That stuff they teach in school didn't need none of that. I know life. What I got, I didn't get it from school. Just saying, self-made. When the Wepawat aspect can lead the soul, watch this, to the higher realms, he the one took us all to the throne, sat on there and said, yeah, it's yours. And extend, to the higher realms of what? Existence to where? The netherworld. There we go. That is what Wepawat did for Saul. After Saul was reconstructed, he mummified and reconstructed, opened up his mouth, they call it opening of the mouth. In the same way, Wepawat minds lead an aspirant on what? The right path for what? The spiritual enlightenment journey. Then what? The movement of disillusion. Okay, the spiritual journey to what? Enlightenment is based on the Pahute and can begin and have a positive outcome if you master your God and Goddess aspects. This is about to end up. I'm about to wrap it up with Heru and Het Heru. They call it Horus and Hathor. Remember, the Greeks just renamed everybody. I hate doing that, but yeah, let's talk about that right quick. Heru is the epitome. Aset and Asar is the epitome of human beings, right? Watch this. Heru is the epitome of what? All human qualities when they are what? Supplemented. That means spiritually disciplined and harmonized. Heart, mind, coherence. You're thinking and feeling as one. And what happened? He is the offspring of what? The spirit of Saw and the intuition wisdom of Aset. Bam. When human beings evolve in consciousness to their full potential, they become masters of their own consciousness as well as their own physical nature. I'm in physical, decent condition. Why? Because I go out and work every day. I'm in good mental condition. I study and perform good deeds every day. I'm in control of my destiny. I'm in control of my life. I'm the leader of myself. Why? I know who I am. So I'm not leading myself in the wrong way. And those who follow can trust that I'm going the right way. Watch this. They are the what? Perfect blend of matter and spirit. Yin and yang. We understand that connection. So I like to use that in the references when two opposites going together. The yin ain't trying to yang. The yang ain't trying to yin. That's harmony amongst two things. When you have matter and spirit, desire, devotion, wisdom, and power, that's serving your higher self. And that's always to the good, whether you're Christian, Muslim, or Jew. Serving your higher self always going to be beneficial to you. That's why I tell you, I'm not against none of religious concept, but when you live it, you'll find out for yourself. We all do the same thing. That's why I don't knock it. So understand that. Watch this. Because they transcend what? Time and space, even as they continue to live in time and space. Such a life is what? Glorious. And it is the goal of what? All human beings to know thyself. I'm about to wrap it up. Now, the goddess Het Haru is the subtle essence of what? Dynamic focus. Laser beam. Okay? Spiritually. Spiritual power in creation. As symbolized, watch this, in her form as the what? The right eye of Ra, the sun disk. The sun disk is the ultimate symbol of what? Dynamic power of the divine self, which sustains all life. Her name indicates a close relationship with who? Haru. The name Het Haru means house of Haru. She's the female aspect of Haru. Watch this. Haru is indeed the one who dwells in what? The house of Het Haru. In other words, watch this. That's the spirit. Haru lives in what? Creation, Het Haru, itself. Haru is none other than Ra in another form, and Haru is also Tahuti. Haru is also Nefertim, sitting on the lotus flower with the perfect one, the beautiful one, complete one, okay? And the divine self arising from the primeval waters, sitting on his lotus plant. Thus, every human being, I'm wrapping it home, taking it home, every human being is not separate from God, but is, but is essentially God, who arose from what? The primeval waters, Nefertim, and is potentially able to what? Realize their true nature. This is why we have consciousness. The self manifests as what? The universe, as well as the consciousness, Ra, and the intellect, Tahuti, which resides, lives, and interacts with what? Creation, aka the spirit that's in us, and the consciousness that we have is given to us for a purpose to use and find and know who we are and be the best at it. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Hope you got the message. I got more. I'll be back.